Attention viewer, you are watching the world's biggest monster truck diecast YouTube channel. This is Monster Jam OCD.
Hello Monster Jam fans, and welcome back to another Monster Jam OCD review video. Today we are taking a look at the final singles assortment by Spin Master Monster Jam for 2022, and that is Series 27. As the year winds down, we get to the final mix with some of the best stuff that we've been waiting for a long time to see in final product form, and there are a few good retro trucks in this assortment that I'm sure collectors are so excited to finally find in stores. So let's start with our assortment breakdown. As always, I've put some of my favorites first and the chase piece. Starting with the chase piece on the left side, we have the final true heavy metal chase piece, which is the Megalodon. So there is Megalodon. We have, for the first time ever, we have been hoping to get this for years and years and years, and finally Spin Master has answered the call. It is the split paint job World Final 6 Avenger paint scheme, and it is beautiful. So we'll take a good look at that in a little while. We also have, after 2 decades, the first ever diecast appearance of a Boogie van, another call answered by Spin Master this year with the first and only diecast release of Boogie Van in its entire history. So Boogie Van making its first diecast appearance right here in Mix 27. We also have the Hyper-Fueled series ending with the Son-uva digger with the cyan blue paint scheme. We have Excalibur by the Tomfoolery Motorsports team and Star Creations making a diecast appearance on the square body tooling. And the last new retro truck, by far one of the best and most accurate castings Spin Master has done yet. It is Mercury Monster Mutt returning for the Retro Rebels series with a brand new casting, ears, and tail. We'll talk a lot about this in a little while. And then we have the other releases in this case, which are re-releases. We have Dragon from the Legacy trucks, the Monster Mutt Dalmatian from Rough Crowd, and the 40th anniversary Gravedigger paint scheme getting a mainline release with a normal chassis and green rims. So we're going to start with Dragon here today from Mix 27. Out of all the trucks in this case, obviously this one is the one I want to get out of the way first, just because it is not as exciting as some of the big names that we just listed off. So Dragon from the Legacy trucks, we're going to unbox it right now. Here we go. So here it is. I believe this is our 4th release of a Dragon this year. The others have been very similar to this, where it's not much different than a normal Dragon paint scheme. So going through it real quick, we have the standard Dragon body, the orange horns, black windshield, a yellow chassis, black roll cage, orange rims with BKT printed tires, and a yellow barrel as the insert piece here for the collectible, whatever you want to call these, toss-in items. But here is Dragon. Again, nothing too crazy special, and just another standard release of a Dragon with a different chassis and rims and such. But good for customizers with the BKTs, I guess. But there's Dragon, the first one from Legacy Trucks. Don't worry, the mix is about to get really good after we get through these next few trucks. So next up is Monster Mutt Dalmatian. This is from Rough Crowd, and we're also just going to go straight into it and unbox it. And here is Monster Mutt Dalmatian, the second Monster Mutt from Rough Crowd this year. This is the version with the ears still up. They have not given Monster Mutt Dalmatian the ears down. They have done that for Monster Mutt and Monster Mutt Rottweiler, but for some reason, one of the most popular of the fleet has not received the ears down variation just yet. But anyway, here it is with a white roll cage, black chassis, red rims, and black tires. I like the white on black as if it's the spots for the roll cage and chassis color, but as far as this Dalmatian goes, with no ear change, it's another standard re-release with a chassis variation, and it comes with a red crush car. So there's Monster Mutt Dalmatian for Rough Crowd, the last one of this year. And now we have the 40th anniversary Gravedigger paint scheme getting a normal release after it had a Superstore release earlier in January of this year. So this is a truck that many people will be divided on whether they like it or not, just because it was a 1 of 5,000 exclusive, and now it is a mainline release. But let's talk about it after we unbox it. All right, so Gravedigger, 40th anniversary. Obviously, we're winding down 2022. This was the 40th anniversary year of Gravedigger. Like I mentioned just a second ago, we did get a Monster Jam Superstore exclusive release of it. I would assume now that we look back on that the chassis with the chrome red and the red roll cage and all that was the exclusive factor of that Gravedigger, and the packaging if you keep it in the box. But this is your standard mainline release of a Gravedigger 40th anniversary truck. We've also seen a gold body exclusive from the Monster Jam Garage playset, but here is the first regular edition release for the mainline singles packs. And you can see here, it has that standard body that we saw way earlier in January on the Superstore one, as well as the same graphics as the gold one and the real life truck. It has a green roll cage with a gray chassis, solid green rims, and BKT printed tires. I like that they added the BKTs at least. It looks really good. But it depends on whether or not you bought the Superstore one, if you're going to be happy to see this in singles. If you didn't get a chance to get the Superstore one, or if you live in a country that the Superstore does not service to, then this is actually a really good saving grace because you actually get a chance to own one of the 40th anniversary body style Gravediggers. So it is definitely a half and half on who's going to like this and who's not. But I really enjoy the fact that the international folks can actually get one of these because I felt really bad that they couldn't order from the Superstore. So here it is, the 40th anniversary Gravedigger normal mainline release. I believe this is from Legacy Trucks, and there it is for 2022. And the final truck before we get into these big brand new ones, it is the hyper-fueled Son of a Digger, brand new blue body. Let's unbox it and check it out. All right, so Hyperfueled has been an interesting series to say the least this year. Gravedigger and Son of a Digger were really the only ones that got a different paint scheme style on their release. Gravedigger had a fully green neon color for the body, chassis, rims, tires, and everything else. Moving forward from then, it was kind of just the standard body on a fully singular colored chassis. El Toro Loco, Megalodon, good examples of that. And then we had Alien Invasion also with the standard silver body, but on a green chassis instead of a green body. And now we have Son of Digger, which is actually changed again, like Gravedigger was, for the release, with the body color being completely different. So as you can see, it is a cyan color paint scheme. My camera might not be picking up the color exactly as it looks. It's like an aqua green color. It's actually really nice. It's different than the release that the Son of Digger got with the scrap Monster Jam figure or creature. It had a dark blue paint scheme then, but this time it is a cyan color. So they really have done a lot of different Son of Digger paint scheme body colors. We also had a purple one earlier this year from Legacy Trucks, but here it is with the cyan colored body for this release of the Hyperfueled series. It also has the full grille wrap. It looks like they're finally starting to do them on all Son of Diggers, so I'm glad to see that happening right there. The headlights, the headlight rings in silver. We have this side here with Son of Digger graphics, actually much clearer than usual. So they have been improving this. This is really nice to see. And then it has a cyan colored roll cage, cyan colored tires and rims. And then the chassis, unlike all the other Hyperfueled trucks, is different than the roll cage and everything else. It is actually a purple chassis. So this is the only Hyperfueled truck to have a chassis, tires, and everything that doesn't match all the other colors of the truck. So there is the purple chassis on Son of Digger. It also comes with a purple crush car like we saw with Skeleton Zombie. And that is the end of Hyperfueled for this year. I don't know if I love this series more than Nitro Neon. I hope we see it again next year with some better options as far as the body colors changing. But for now, Hyperfueled for 2022 wraps up with the Son of a Digger. And now we have Tomfoolery Motorsports Excalibur, a truck that we have been waiting to see revealed, and we finally saw it in the poster reveal and now in final product form on the square body tooling. Let's unbox it and check it out. It may look simple, but to Monster Jam historians and fans that have been part of the sport for a long time, you know that Charlie Pauken did have Excalibur a long time ago, and it was made by Hot Wheels several times in the past. And now Tomfoolery Motorsports, the owner of Jester, Kraken, and the Recreation Monster Truck have brought this truck back. I don't believe until this point in time, I don't know if after this video comes out, if it's already been revealed, but for now, filming in August of 2022, this truck has not yet been revealed by Star Creations or Tomfoolery, so this is still the only look at the truck that we have besides render photos. So here's Excalibur on that square body tooling that we have seen in the past with Storm Damage. It's nice to see the tooling get a use again from the past. We have not really seen it used besides Storm Damage, so it's nice to have this truck here for a release. Again, like I said, pretty simple truck, so we're gonna go through it as I see it here. So Excalibur, as you can see the logo there with some stars around it. We have this classic stripes there, the Monster Jam logo, the red roof, and the Star Creations logo on the hood there, very prominent and proud. And then the grille is painted with a gray decal. We have red rims, black tires, a black roll cage, and a gray chassis. Nothing on the tailgate. And again, very simple, true to the era that Excalibur came from. and just one of those trucks that looks really awesome. I can't wait to see it return to the real life circuit under Tomfoolery Motorsports. And now we have a truck that I have been so excited to see revealed, brought to the public eye, and finally to unbox. This is the Mercury Mutt, Monster Mutt from Retro Rebels, one of the coolest and most accurate casting that Spin Master has ever done. Let's get it out of the box and check it out in great detail. Oh my gosh, this is such a cool truck. I don't really get excited for tons of releases, but when it's something from the past and they've done such a great casting, I can't help myself and get excited. So here it is, the Mercury Mutt, Monster Mutt, returning to the scene, the original Monster Mutt. For those who are new fans, this is what Monster Mutt used to look like before the 3D body was made, and this is just such a classic callback to those classic days of Monster Jam. And Spin Master and Jordan specifically did such an incredible job. I'm just looking at it for a first glance here before I talk about it. But here it is, Monster Mutt, Mercury body with the classic decals, the classic ears and tail. This thing is so sick. So let's start with the first part of it, the chassis and tires, just to get them out of the way. We have a black roll cage, gray chassis, black BKT tires, and gray rims, which are true to the era. And it is actually funny because people will say this is not accurate because of the tires, but Monster Mutt did run this body before they switched it over with the BKTs, so it is accurate to the era before it retired, and also before it became Junkyard Dog. So here it is, Monster Mutt, Mercury Mutt. It is sitting perfectly on the chassis too. I'll give them credit for that. That looks perfect. And let's talk about the side panel. So first off, we have the classic mouth here with the accurate teeth. They did the perfect teeth here. Monster Mutt Dalmatian actually has different teeth. If you never noticed that, you can't unsee it now, but they did do the right teeth for the Monster Mutt. The color, of course, going across the side here, red color with the Monster Mutt logo. Monster Jam logo there. We have some very good detail in the fur pattern as if it was airbrushed like the real life truck was. We have the front here with the Mercury casting and the nose. The tongue I'll talk about in a second. I do want to talk about that as far as an accurate thing goes, but for now, there's the tongue. We have the lines across the hood here, the fur details all across the entire area up here, the whisker dots on the fenders, and then the airbrushing continues onto the roof here with these ears, which are rubber and textured as if they're furry, which is really cool. That is awesome. It also has the window detail underneath the ears there. The ears also sit off the truck. If you notice that, I bent that one a little bit, but they don't sit flush with the truck. They sit off the truck like the real one used to have. So the ears are so awesome. I'm so happy they textured the ears. They look really good. And then the tail here, you might notice the tail's curved, and you might not be used to seeing that in diecast form. However, the real life truck did have a curved tail, and even the current Monster Mutts still have a curve to their tail that goes over the body. And this was something that Jordan wanted to add just for the realistic factor. So it does have that, and it's hard to see, but there was wrinkle texture added to the tail here where it bends at the bottom. Just the texture of the tail itself, the fur texture, makes that kind of go away, but there is a difference in the bend down here. There's a texture to the actual tail itself, and then you can see the tail is textured as if it's fur like the ears are. And then we have 2010 Monster Jam Freestyle Champion. That was, of course, done by Charlie Pauken during his time in Monster Mutt, and he just actually ran Monster Mutt in the 21st World Finals, which was really nice to see. It also has the open window in the back, accurate to the real life truck, and the front windshield here, also accurate. So there it is, Monster Mutt, Mercury Mutt. Let's talk about the one thing I wanted to mention, which is the tongue. Now, this is something I've mentioned in the past, but Monster Mutt Dalmatian has been using this pointy tongue since the start of Spin Master Monster Jam, and then the Monster Mutt standard body actually uses the accurate rounded tongue. And this would have been the perfect tongue to use for this release because this truck does use the round tongue. All Monster Mutts use that tongue, actually, I should say. So the pointy tongue really doesn't fit well just because this looks much better, but that's something I'll mention to them. If they fix it or don't, that's really up to them. However, regardless of that tiny little difference in the casting, this thing is awesome. So definitely in my top 10, probably my top 5 of this year for singles packs releases. And here it is, for the first time ever, getting a release after a decade and almost a half since this truck ran. Avenger World Final Split Paint Scheme. Let's unbox it and check it out. Okay, this is cool. This whole case of retro trucks is just awesome. Nostalgia through the roof. This truck is something in particular that Monster Jam fans of the past have been waiting for forever. The fact that Spin Master finally picked it up, I've been pushing this truck for a long time, just because I know how much it means to Monster Jam fans, especially Avenger fans and Team Scream Racing fans. So here it is for the first time ever in a diecast form. It is the split paint scheme Avenger, and let's take a good look at it. There are some things I want to note, and I'll do a bigger video on that at the end of the year for corrections, but for the idea of what this truck is, I'm just going to go over it first and talk about it. So the first thing I want to mention is the chassis. Like last time, we have a black roll cage, gray chassis, gray rims, and black tires, just like Monster Mutt, Mercury Mutt had, and that's pretty accurate to the real life truck, besides the fact that these did not run during the era that this truck was from, the BKTs. But here it is, the orange side of the Avenger. We have blue flames with the skull. We have the Monster Jam, Cohen, and Lucas Oil logos. The Avenger logo with a green to yellow gradient. I'll talk about that in a second. That's actually not accurate, but we'll come back to it. And then looking at the hood here and the front grille, we have the painted bottom part of the grille itself in silver. That looks really good. And then you can see the split down the middle, orange to green. The right side headlight is blacked out. The actual truck actually used green on both sides, so I'm not sure why they did that, but there's a blacked out headlight and then a glowing green one. We have the hood here with the skull, the flames going up the sides. The real life truck did have half blue, like this did. Half blue on this side and then the yellow on this side. Another inaccuracy thing, but this truck's pretty old, so I'm noting it now for future use. But there's the skull and the flames on the hood. And then moving up to the roof here, we have 2003 Monster Jam World Finals Freestyle Champion. This is another thing that people have been talking about since I revealed it. The World Finals logo is obviously not era accurate. This is the current Monster Jam World Finals logo. Again, something I'll note in my design team email about this truck specifically. But for now, like I said, this is the first time we're getting this truck. I'm not going to nitpick as much as I usually do, just because I respect the fact that they actually made this. So there's the split all the way down to the trunk area. And then this side of the truck is completely accurate. The standard Avenger logo and the same sponsors on that side. And there it is in its entirety, the split paint job World Finals Avenger. Like I said, there are some decals that are incorrect, but the fact that we actually got this truck, whether or not we get a different one with corrected decals or not, we have finally received this truck, and that's enough for me, and it should be enough for collectors too. So there it is, the next Bel Air Avenger body with the green and orange paint scheme. Thank you, Jordan. Thank you, Spin Master, for listening to this feedback on this one. I cannot believe we actually got this. And the time has finally come for this truck. This is the biggest release of the year. This is another one that you just really can't complain about because we're actually getting it. And this has been something that has never been attempted before, and that's enough on its own to have respect from me. This is the Boogie Van, and we're gonna unbox it and talk all about it right now. So this truck is from the yesteryear era of Monster Jam. It has been such a long time since this specific paint scheme of this truck ran, since the truck itself even ran. But this truck in particular, it has been around for 2 decades, the name and the design, but it has not ever been attempted by a diecast company to be produced. And it's such a shame because it's such a classic name, classic scheme, and classic truck. And for the first time, as a huge shock to the collecting world, Spin Master announced that they were making it this year. And ever since that announcement, I've been waiting anxiously to see how it turned out. And here's what they're giving us this year. Here is the Boogie Van by Spin Master and Monster Jam. I just want to say this real quick. It does come with a black crush card. It's really cool, but we have a huge diecast reveal here to talk about. So let's get straight into it. The Boogie Van. From the bygone era of Monster Jam, the classics. And as you can see, we have a black roll cage, a gray chassis, black tires, and white rims like the real life truck had. This tire is actually a little overpressed. There we go. And let's take a look at the scheme. Starting with the top here, we have a beautiful purple color for the roof panel, and then we have a magenta stripe across the side with a white stripe, and then it fades into an orange stripe at the bottom. The Monster Jam logo and the Boogie Van logo with the eyes of the Boogie Monster with the shadowing in the background accurate to the truck. It looks really good. And then we have on the hood here, we have the eyes of the Boogie Monster as well, and a painted silver grille, a giant windshield. This casting is quite big for the chassis, but there it is. And then the windows are blacked out. That's really cool. And then you can see we do have nice window cuts there, the A-pillar, and a small window insert there. And here is the tailgate. The tailgate is heavily modified just because the Aerostar casting is not licensed by Spin Master, so they cannot make an accurate casting of this truck. So they did have to modify it heavily to not get, obviously, copyrighted. So you can see the tailgate is completely missing, where the original truck actually, I think it dipped in at a V pattern, but they cut that entire part off of the back. It's unfortunate, but here it is. Nonetheless, again, a Boogie van release. This is really what the whole point is. But you can see the stripes here continue along the back. A black decal for the windows on all sides. And then the front grille, we'll take a look at that again. A very modified front grille for an Aerostar. More so an Astro van, I would say. Look here on the front. I wish they would have painted the turn signals. It just would have given it a little more character. But there it is, the Boogie van. This is what we've been waiting for to see for decades now. And the fact that we just got a die-cast release of it is enough for me. I'm not going to really go into super heavy detail on the casting work just because that's something that can't be changed like a decal could. But there it is, the Monster Jam Spin Master Boogie Van for Mix 27 from Danger Divas, the final new truck of the year for this review. And the last one of the review is actually the chase piece, which is Megalodon. Let's bring it right into frame and start talking about it because this is it. This is the end of 2022 Spin Master Monster Jam as we unbox this truck right now. And here it is, the true heavy metal Megalodon, the final new chase piece of the year, sporting a blue chassis, blue rims, and baby blue shocks with the standard Megalodon body and BKT printed tires. This truck actually reminds me a lot of the Raising Cane chassis with the blue and blue. So that's actually pretty cool, but Megalodon itself as the chase piece, we've seen it many times before as a chase piece, and this time it's just joining the true heavy metal trucks, which are super heavy, as you know, with a metal chassis and metal body. But I'm glad we're finally moving on from this chase piece. I think it was probably my least favorite of all the chase pieces so far of Spin Master Monster, which there have been 4. Ride trucks still be my favorite, training trucks second, Showtime trucks third, and now fourth are the true heavy metal trucks. Next year, I hope we get a new chase piece entirely. I hope we just completely move on from just repetitive trucks. I hope we get a new series, but of course, that's up to the design team and what they come up with for 2023. But I hope you guys have enjoyed my reviews of 2022 singles packs this year. I really have been impressed with the new things that Spin Master gave us this year. Obviously a lot of repetitive repeat trucks, but those are for the kids side of things. For the collector world, we have received a ton of new trucks, retros, new castings, and everything in between. So thank you to Spin Master for an amazing year. I will see you guys next time. This is Ryan or Monster OCD signing out.